our dear youth, I wish to request you to bear in mind that among the more than 1 million victims of the genocide of 1994 against the Tutsi, we remember today hundreds or thousands were infants, children, teenagers, and older young men and women like most of you. Just to give you a sense of the madness and wickedness of the government and the people who indulged in the merciless killing of their innocent compatriots. I want to repeat this: infants, teenagers, young men and women of your age, all moved by a reckless government to indulge in the killing of 1 million innocent people they had been living with. Another sad and shameful reality is that we record among the killers a sizable number of young people, including those of your age who were going to university, as is your case, who got involved in the commission of the genocide. They killed their classmates they had been sharing campus life so harmoniously until evil was unleashed. As much as some people may think that the involvement of the masses in the killings would have been made easy by ignorance and proneness to manipulation of ordinary people who never went to school, one would wonder why the educated elite, including eminent scientists, indulged into that horror.
This is a conceptual framework done by Gregory Stanton, one of our colleagues, who's also the president of Genocide Watch in the United States. First, people are classified: Germans, Jews, Hutu, Tutsi. Before colonization, there weren't Hutu and Tutsi. There were Rwandans, and now there are once again. Symbols have to be used so that people know and begin to think, I'm a Hutu, I'm a Tutsi. The identity cards that the Belgians introduced in the 40s were those symbols. When Tutsis came up to roadblocks, they were asked for those identity cards. If you were a Tutsi, you went one way. If you were a Hutu, you went the other way. Discrimination, quotas, and laws preventing even intermarriage from people who had intermarried for generations. Dehumanization, to kill your brother, your sister, your cousin. You can't think of them as human. And we know from the Holocaust what the words were. In Rwanda, it was inyenzi, which means cockroach. I have to tell you, 2 years ago in Nigeria, when I heard a Nigerian politician use the word cockroach, I knew we might be in very serious trouble here also. Hate radio, that Professor Jacob has done some research on, that was developed by an academic in Butari. The 10 Commandments from the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is deeply implicated by this. We all know that. That story still has to be written. I've seen an original copy of the Hutu 10 Commandments. The 10th commandment was to make sure you murdered every Tutsi. And if you didn't, it was treasonous.
I would like to propose a hypothesis here that European civilization have deep roots in genocidal orientation. First, Romans. They martyred of Christians in Roman times. That was a genocide. And then the Visigoths started the Crusades against the Muslims and committed tremendous genocides against the Muslims. Then the last crusade was against the Catars, which were in the southern part of France, and they massacred the Catars. In Montsegur, they killed about 10,000 women and children. They burned them to death. And then the Spaniards, the northern Spaniards, called Santiago Matamoros, which means the Moor killer. And they started to fight against the southern Spaniards, which were Moors, and kill them, eliminate them as non-human. And then, of course, when the Spaniards came to the Americas, then they say the Indians have no soul. They're not human. Of course, there's a big academic discussion in which Suarez defended that they had souls, and then they say the slaves have no souls. And there was a big, tremendous discussion that they had souls, and the genocide against the Africans that were transported to the Americans as slaves. Then the terror in France. Nobody has mentioned here that the French had tremendous influence in the Rwandan genocide against Tutsis, but they had this tremendous ideological terror mind, killing people very effectively. They invented a way to kill people very effectively. And then they have, of course, we have the Holocaust, which are German Visigoths killing the Jewish people. And then we have, of course, in the Balkans, also Christians killing Islamic people. So all these are instances of genocidal orientation where? In Europe. So they influence, of course, is my theory, they influence the Rwandan case by bringing an ideologically inspiring the genocide against the Tutsi. So this is my hypothesis, that I feel Europeans, academics don't want to discuss it. They don't want to recognize that they are genocidal. But we should try to investigate and do research on that. Thank you.
And coming back to the types and of the genocide scenario in academic milieu, one of them I would say is invisibility of Africa. So the fate of the way we understand genocide or talk about Rwanda is the same way people will talk about Africa when they understand Africa. So the way Africa is covered, that is the same way Rwanda is also covered. And this has a big influence, having that invisibility. So those who have like access to media, whenever talk about Rwanda, will have also influence, a negative influence on Rwanda.
Today is a sad day because we are here to remember the sufferings of the Tutsi in 1994. But it's also a day of hope because the fact that we are here reminds everybody that the killers have been politically and morally defeated. So Rwanda is not about the past, it's about the present and tomorrow. Rwanda, it's not only about Rwanda. Rwanda is also about Senegal, about Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Kenya, and so many other countries here in Africa.
As we are here, we have, my colleagues, we are from different parts of the country, north, south, east, in city. But all of us, we came here not because we are from certain part of the country, no. It was based on our academic achievement. That's why we are here. It doesn't matter where your family is rich, your dad is someone else, no. What is matter is your desire to learn and your commitment. That's all. So that is how the government of unity and reconciliation is trying to help youth of today, hope of the future, to have unity to prevent other genocide. Thank you.
Ambassador, you must be very proud of your Rwandan youth. Another round of applause for you.